Hi, this is Tom Marki from AXIOM Founders Family Office. I'm going to share with you one of our planning tools. So with our clients, we want to help them make decisions regarding their goals in the most efficient manner with the least amount of risk. So one of the tools we use to help them with that is what's called RightCapital. So our clients get this during our meetings. They also can log in and see this on their phones or their desktops or their laptops, etc. And then we could also go over this information during the Zoom or with maybe some of their other professionals. So this is the snapshot page. It's basically showing our clients based on the goals that they shared with us. Down here, I've got some examples. Looking to buy a vacation home, going to help pay for grandchild's college, exit business in 2029. So based on the information that we put in here, their income, their assets, what their goals are, what their tax situation is, they get 100% probability of success. This was a key number during COVID. So our clients, holy cow, business owners, they got hit with a lot during COVID. But thankfully, the planning we did on the front end helped them deal with that situation. So there's probably a success. Maybe it went from 85% to 80%, or it went from 89% to 82%. It wasn't the end of the world. It did affect a lot of our clients. But the pre-planning, we helped our clients on the front end, especially with cash. They were able to deal with the situations, get back on their feet, etc. So clients, it's nice for them to see that because they hear a lot in the news, they watch the stock market, they hear about a recession, this, that, and the other, what their neighbors are saying, and they get sometimes fearful. So this is gives them a peace of mind. And if they had any questions, they give us a call. So anyways, on the snapshot page, this is totally customizable for our clients, but this is a typical one. It shows their net worth, their effective federal tax rate. It's nice to see a balance sheet. All their assets, liabilities, etc. And then here's the stress testing. So this is their age down here. And one of the unknowns is we don't know this. We don't know when we're going to die. So we're looking across and it's given a confidence level of your assets and your plan. So basically, one of the biggest questions we get from our clients is, or one of their biggest concerns, I should say, is, hey, I don't want to run out of money. And now we are living longer, but then we want to make sure that we have money at the end of the plan. Asset allocation, that's a key thing we want to look at. What are they comfortable with? Our clients come from all kinds of backgrounds. Some of them are more comfortable with the stock market, some of them not. Some of them are really comfortable with real estate. Others are more comfortable with their business, etc. So that we kind of talk the pros and cons of all different types of investments, including the stock market. Tax allocation summary. So how much of your portfolio is Uncle Sam still a partner in? So that would be your IRAs, your 401ks, your 403bs, your cash balance plan. So if that's the situation, then we need to start doing some tax planning as far as how do we want to draw down these accounts in retirement? Do we want to shift some of this money around to where more of the money is in the tax-free asset bucket or taxable asset bucket, etc.? So that's part of the planning we do. And we come across the top here. You can see the different categories that we will touch on. So again, the balance sheet, tax is a big concern. So of course, at the end of last year, we're looking at your taxes. So this is the age down here. What kind of tax rates are you at? Do we need to smooth it out? Do you have some years that are lower than others? Do we need to do some tax strategies? So again, we will set up some scenarios where we're looking at, hey, what happens tax-wise if I sell the business? What happens tax-wise if I sell our house, etc. And then the tax analyzer is a new feature that we're looking at. Is we always want to look towards the future. So the details page here, I should say summary. Details page here shows tax rates going forward. So this is year 2025. What are we looking at as far as through the years for taxes? This is our details page here. So again, we can look at your 1040 for all kinds of different years. So one of the things we request from our clients is a tax return, a couple of years tax returns. And then we're having talks all during the year with our clients to have an idea of what their income is going to be that year and also what they're thinking going forward. So that helps us find those tax efficiencies that I mentioned in the first page. And then up top here, you can see we definitely look at investments. Do we need to reallocate your portfolio? So let's say, you know, these clients, they're getting near retirement. Well, they're heavily allocated towards equities. So if we want to go to a moderate portfolio, which is your typical 60-40, so 60% equities, 40% bonds, then these are the allocation changes that we need to make or implement. So that's where we help our clients. Are they still properly allocated? So one thing with a lot of our clients, they're great at buying things, but they always don't know when to exit, and including the money in the stock market. We've had a great run the last, 5, 6, 8 years. 2022 was a down year, but most of the time we've been hitting, record numbers over the last couple of years, 2023 and 24. So do we need to change that? And again, tax allocation, that's a big issue. We need to do some planning, shift some of that money around. This is our retirement page. So a lot of our clients, they come into our office and they're just overwhelmed. So they're in a business, they've got children, maybe adult children, maybe they got some grandkids, and then they might have some adult parents that they're also concerned with. And so how do we pull all that together, make some decisions not only for your lifestyle now, but your lifestyle 2 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. So this is where we help them make some decisions. So we have a current plan, and then we have proposed plans. And we look at asset allocation. We help with Social Security. When are you looking at retirement? Do you have debt you need to set up a strategy for? Do we need to implement a new tax strategy? How about retirement spending? One of the things we try to find out is what kind of a spender you are. So are you living well within your means, or are you spending every dollar that you get? So then we kind of have to, some of our clients are spending everything they got, and maybe we set up some guardrails or a floor and ceiling. Most of our clients, they're going to fall into the spending smile. So what that means is the first 5, 8 years of your retirement, you're probably in your best health, and so you're doing a lot of traveling. But then as you progress through life and you get into your late 70s, 80s, well, your health isn't as good as it used to be, and so you're not so much interested in getting on a boat for a cruise or flying all over the place. So you kind of slow down. And then at the end of your life, just like my mom, you might have to go into assisted living. So then there's a cost associated with that. So that's a retirement spending smile, where you're spending a lot on traveling at the beginning, and then you're not spending so much in the middle, but then at the end you're spending a lot again, but it's just on more health expenses, etc. And then for our business owners, when are we getting out? How are we getting out? Vacation home, rental property. And again, we help you with income decisions, planning going forward. Are you a saver, not saving? What is your current lifestyle? And then what do you want your lifestyle to be in retirement? And then again, the unknown factor is this number right here. We don't know when we're going to pass away. So we can kind of change these numbers on the fly and then adjust and then see what the plan comes up with. Another version of that is our retirement details page. So this is income sources from a proposed plan. This is your age right here. And this is your income coming across till age 93, 94, etc. And then how much of that is stable. So what we try to find out from our clients is how much of the income they have coming in is what we call mailbox money. So if you want to spend $10,000 a month and Social Security is providing $4,000 a month, maybe you have a pension for $2,000 a month, then 6 out of the $10,000 is pretty much guaranteed. That's what we call mailbox money. So that would be a 60% is stable income. So with some of our clients, if they don't have a pension, we'll create their own personal pension because they're just not comfortable with the huge swings in the stock market. So we have products that we can talk with our clients. We create a personal pension where the money is guaranteed to come in every month, no matter what the stock market does. And then we're looking at different scenarios. So is there a recession going to be next year? Recession in 5 years. Back to, we try to err on the side of caution. We kind of anticipate 2 recessions over the next 30 years. That's what the numbers or history has told us. But if only one happens, well, that's great. Even better. That's retirement spending. And again, up here, you can see we can help clients with Medicare decisions, Social Security decisions. And this is a big one right here. This is kind of where I live. It's cash flow. So you have a lifestyle now. This is your age right here, 2025. You have a lifestyle now. You got income coming in. Maybe you have some business income coming in. You got expenses, and then you have goals. And then you got to be conscious of this. So you got to pay taxes. Sometimes folks forget about that. And then are you saving? So what's your net flow? And so we can move this across and kind of see what happens down the road. So now they've got Social Security income coming in. So before they had income come from the business, but then with the portfolio they were setting up, they're getting investment income. So that's paying for their lifestyle. And this is a different version of it. So this is the unpopular version, or if you're an engineer, that type, maybe you like this type. So this is the year, this is your age, and this is your income flows. You can see some big numbers right here because they're taking a salary from the business. Well, if they go to exit the business, they sell it, but they're not going to no longer get that salary. So now we've got to figure out ways to replace that income to pay for their lifestyle. And then, as I said, this number right here, this plan distribution, is Uncle Sam saying, hey, you took advantage of the 401k, you took advantage of the IRA, you got those tax breaks on the front end. Now we want you to start paying some taxes on that money. So Uncle Sam forces the issue. You can see here at age 73. So anyways, is there planning we can do around that to lessen that tax hit, maybe smooth it out? What we want to do is make sure that you got some net flows, or at least we're pretty close. So back to this is the year, this is the age. And then again, we got some goals that come along the way. We got a vacation goal, 2 vacations a year, that go that I was talking about. But then we're going to be cognizant of this. So, a big number here, total income, because they exited the business in 1 year. So sale of business, 26 million. So one of the biggest ways we help our clients is tax planning on the front end of that sale. And then it doesn't always have to be in a lump sum. It can always be almost like an annuity where maybe you get 5 years of payments, et cetera. So anyways, we have experts that come in, your CPA, your M&A attorney, an investment banker, our office, your wealth management office, and we get a game plan going. Sometimes it's 2 years ahead of time, 3 years ahead of time, 18 months. But we start planning this, an estate planner too. I forgot that one. And is there a way to manage this exit in the most efficient way possible? And especially when it comes to taxes, because if you get a big, huge lump like this 1 year, well, guess what? Uncle Sam's going to want a big chunk of that. So is there a way we can alleviate that? Or is that, fine with you? And then we, help you out with what are you going to do with that money? Where are you going to park it? What's the goals, et cetera? So this is the cash flow area. This is where I live. And again, we can help you out with other decisions that come along the way. Big cost down the future is long-term care. We also have experts that help you out with property and casualty. If you've got numerous rentals, assets in your business, Airbnbs. Do we need to look at your property and casualty? Disability, we always got to think about that. Make sure that you're covered, especially if the business is heavily dependent on you. And then, of course, life insurance. Life insurance is a great tool, not only to help out your survivors, but it's also sometimes for succession planning or helping out your business, buy-sell agreements, etc. Estate planning, that's a big one. So with our clients, we want to make sure that they got a will, do they have powers of attorneys, healthcare proxies, and are the beneficiary designations set up? Have you reviewed it lately? Did you set up some beneficiaries on some accounts 20 years ago, and then you get divorced and you haven't updated them? That could be a problem. So again, beneficiaries want to make sure who's the beneficiaries on accounts, how do you have access to those accounts, and then an analysis. So most of our clients, we can look at the estate here, the estate flow chart. I mean, these are pretty substantial net worth numbers. Well, guess what? Uncle Sam's going to want taxes on that too. So that's a big topic of discussion. Is that fair? Well, it is what it is right now. So what can we do planning wise on the front end? And then also most of our clients, they want to plan for their legacy. So they're very thankful for the wealth they've created. And now how do we distribute that to the next generation or 2 or 3 or 4, or do they want to do some charitable planning? So this is where we come in. We help do some planning. This is a different chart here. Let me see. So here's the details chart. This is what I'm looking for. Where when Dan passes away at age 90, this is what's going to be left. And this is where it's invested in. Here's the gross estate, and here's some expenses. And this is what goes to the heirs and to the clients. And then these are some different types of trusts that are available, including a donor advised fund, which is not a trust. But these are some different tools that we can talk about as far as alleviating some of those taxes and also planning for legacy, making sure that what you want your money to accomplish happens after you pass away. So that's our estate planning. Anyways, that's just our tool for RightCapital. And we use this for our clients. They have access to it. If you have any questions on the process or how we work with our clients, or if you're interested in working with us, let me know.